What's up guys, this is Awesome Contact here bringing you another video. So, right now you can see we are on a super flat, redstone ready, customized world. That is because we're not doing a let's play right now. I'm going to walk you through mods. Every so often, maybe every other day, it really depends on how long it takes for me to set up each mod. This mod setup took me about 2 hours to finish, so sometimes I just won't have time to do it. But today's mod, right now we are on the Dire Wolf 20 pack, so I'm going to be going down the list of mods right here, and the first one is Applied Energistics. So let's go ahead and I'll walk you through that. So the first thing I want to walk you through is the tools that you get from it. One nifty little thing that they added is called quartz. They had the quartz crystals and the quartz dust. I will show you both of those at a later point. But what you can make out of those is a pickaxe, a shovel, hoe, axe, sword, and wrench. The recipes are just as you'd suspect. The crystals for the same thing, then the wrench is like that. Basically they do exactly what you'd think they do, exactly what they do. For regular tools, the swords do pretty good. I compare them with an iron as far as how good they are. Just about everything is equally comparable, and the durability is about the same, really. Two other things that you get out of it that are tools are called the Entropy Accelerator and the Vibration Catalyst. To make each one, just like that. So you'll need a silk touch or a rock cutter. In order to make this one, I'll show you how to make that one soon. And then the Vibration Catalyst, which has a lava bucket and pretty much the same setup. So let me show you what these guys do. Let's go inside my little base. This is where I'm going to walk you through just about everything. But, alright guys, it's about to get really laggy because I'm about to enter the upper part where I get all my energy from. So let's go. Here we go, guys. Yep, I'm getting some terrible frames right now. So let's quickly show you what's up, and we can get out of here and delete those portals. So the Entropy Accelerator can actually create ice by right-clicking, or it can create cobblestone from stone. Now the Vibration Catalyst can delete ice, or it can turn things back to stone. So basically, well, I shouldn't just say that. Basically, it can smelt items that can be smelted. I don't know if sandstone can be, but no, it cannot. But if we had some iron, let me actually get some of that. Get out some iron ore. It will turn it into an iron bar for us. I don't know if the entropy, I don't think the Entropy Accelerator, no it does not. But yeah, it will auto smelt things right in front of you. Pretty nifty. I'd take it mining with me especially if I had a lat pack. It would do wonders. So let's get rid of these things. Instant rise in frame rates. Alright, still getting some bad stuff because I do have a lot of stuff going on, which I'll show you. But anyway, let's get started. So these are all the blocks and things that come with Applied Energistics. This, I believe that is called a crafting terminal, yes. It's one way to find out. Oh, come on. That is called, yes, the crafting terminal. Basically what this one does is, actually, alright guys, I will show you what everything does and I'll give you the name, but I will show you what it does whenever I show you the whole thing put together, because these are really hard to explain unless I can show you. But anyway, these three things go into making the molecular assembly chamber. They don't really do anything by themselves. I mean, basically all I can really say about it. It's a multi-block structure. This is the MEIO port. What it does is you have storage disks. Sorry about that. In this game, you can see them right here. They go by 1 kilobyte, 16, and 64. And I think there's a 4. Yeah, there's a 4 kilobyte right here. Anyway, it allows you to transfer memory from one that you have in your hand to one in a storage and a disk drive, which can kind of come in handy, but at the same time, through using it, I found ways to work around that are probably just as easy, and I'll go over that once we get down to actually using it. You have different operations mode to where you can change what happens to the disk. You also have whether or not it will work with redstone or not. Over here we have a display screen. Basically, whenever you connect it to your Applied Energistics setup, you can right click with an item and it will tell you exactly how many you have of that item in your storage system. This is a pattern provider. This is the last block used in the multi-block structure of Applied Energistics. It holds patterns, which I will show you what those do soon. Yeah, I put it separately because it actually has an interface. This is the ME controller. As you can see, it says offline because it is getting no energy. This is really what makes everything work. It shows you everything that you have connected to it, which is also quite awesome. And the more things you have connected to it, the more energy it costs. 0 units. Let me explain. Applied Energistics units work like this. 1 AE unit is equal to 0.5 EU, which is the industrial craft unit. I will be right back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's actually been about 2 hours since I recorded the first part of this. But anyway, as I was saying, I believe 1 unit of applied energistic energy is equal to 0.5 units of EU or 0.2 MJs. Typically I use the MJs. That was my whole setup up there. So it displays all this, and this is for linking up a wireless access terminal, which I will show you soon. Anyway, I'm moving on. Here's the ME drive I was talking about, the disk drive where you put in the storage disk, and that connects to it all, and that's how much items you can hold. And yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. The pattern encoder, that encodes beads for auto crafting, which I will be happy to show you soon. Basically, I can't really show you how any of these things work until we go down to where I have everything already set up, and that will be interesting. So here's an NE wireless access point. These increase the range for you to use your wireless access terminal. You can get them in stacks of 64, but you can only put them in at stacks of 16. Typically, like at my survival world, I have 5 wireless access points, all with 16 boosters in them, and that gives me like the entire base. So this is an ME access terminal. I will explain what that does whenever it gets all hooked up. This is nice. This is an ME chest. Basically what this does is this takes out the disk drive portion of it. Basically, once you connect it to where it gets power, you can store things in it only using whatever amount of storage you want to. So say I have a 64K storage and then I apply power to it, it will only use this storage instead of the entire disk drive, which I find pretty useful. And this is an ME interface. Basically what this does is it helps with the auto crafting when it comes to smelting and stuff like that, things that don't actually involve crafting. This is the ME preformatter. How do I explain this best? Basically, it allows you to rename these, but at the same time, it allows you to make it, the more items, as you can see right there, it says 0 out of 63 types. What that means is the different amount of items. What you can do is you can make it to where it can only store, whatever type of items you want, like iron or something like that. And that makes it to where it can actually store, like a 1 kilobyte thing can store 127 stacks of one item, or I think like 1 stack of 63 items. So you lose the amount you can have compared to how many different items you have in it. I hope that makes sense. If not, I can clarify more later. So this is the cabling section. Up here we have the normal type of cables, the ME cable. This is your standard cable. You can use it to connect everything. And down here we have the different colored cables. To create these, let me find it for you. Take any cable, you surround it by color, and you have 8 of them. Basically, this allows for transportation through different cables without them connecting. I don't really see a benefit to it, but I mean, I don't do a lot of complex things with AE. I usually just use it for what do you call it? I usually use it for just the auto crafting, but I even looked on the wiki. They didn't say really anything extra special about it, so I don't understand why someone would use it. If you guys do know, please comment. I'd love to hear it, and then I will include it in a separate video. Here we have 2 things. This is the export bus and the import bus. This is how things work whenever you want to take things out of machines, either IC2, Buildcraft, things like that, out of those machines, or put them in. The export and import, it's actually kind of confusing. The export, you'd think, well, it'll export things out of my machine. It actually exports it out of the AE system. So it pretty much imports things into the machines. And the import's the exact opposite. You'd think it would put it into the machine, but actually it takes it out of the machine and puts it into the AE system. This is a ME level emitter. What you can do is you can have this for things that take crafting where you have to give it a redstone signal, to where you can say, well, I only really need 500 of these at a time, or something like that, 10 of these at a time. So you can set it up to where it will craft only when it's given a redstone signal, and then you can say, give a redstone signal when levels are below the limit, and you can give a limit of 10, and then you can put an item in here. So say you want it to make iron whenever you are below 500 pieces of iron. You put that in there, and then it will emit a redstone signal whenever it's actually connected to a cable and it is given iron. So this is an ME dart cable. I separated this from the colored cable because it actually does have an outside purpose. The ME dart cable, basically what it does is it has a setup to where it can disconnect and reconnect AE systems from the rest of the wire. Basically, if it's given a redstone signal, you will see connection. If you cut the redstone signal, you will see that everything past this point is taken off of the ME controller. This can be used in conjunction with this for better crafting and stuff like that. Better control over crafting. This is an ME storage bus. You can move this around with a wrench. Let me get out an excuse me. Let me get out an Omni wrench. Basically what this does is, without actually using up storage, you can move it to up top. You can put a chest or a barrel on top, and it will show what's in the barrel in your system without actually removing it and using up the data storage in your system. It's actually really helpful, and when you request to pull out some of those items from your wireless access terminal or your access terminal right there. Oh, and that's what that was. I'm sorry, that was an access terminal. I know I forgot to give you the name. That is an access terminal where you can pull things out. Anyway, whenever you actually request things from it, it will pull just that number out. So it saves storage, and it's actually pretty nifty. So here is something that I found really cool. Let me get out some iron. This is called the quartz grindstone. Basically, it's a macerator that doesn't need any energy, and I love it. Basically, if you've gone mining and you found enough stuff to make this, and you want to save resources, you can make this. That's what you need. You need 3 quartz dust, which you can find by mining, wooden gear, stone, and cobblestone. It's actually really cheap, and it's kind of a stepping stone to getting a regular macerator. So you take iron ore. For iron, it's 8. I don't know what it is for other ones, but you take it and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you look, and you have 2 iron dust. And you can smelt that right up and get iron bars. So I really find that helpful. When you make it, it does not come with this. This actually you have to make by yourself. It's called the wooden crank. Basically, it just sticks like that. It's pretty cheap, and then you just take it and you right-click onto it. This is the quartz crystal. You just mine it. Oop, did not mean to do that. Mine it, and you get out quartz crystals. That's pretty much it. Alright, so that's all the blocks that we have. So now I'm going to show you how things work, and I'm going to show you some of the other things that come along with this mod. So let's go downstairs, and now I get to explain how all these mods work. All these blocks work. And bam. Here we go, guys. This is my setup. This is very, very speedy setup. It doesn't look pretty. You can make it look pretty, but I did not. So let's start with this. This is the NE molecular assembler chamber. Let me show you the insides of it. This is a very small version. You can make it even smaller, but this is a pretty small version. Let me change my game mode. So as you can see all them connected, that's very important because you'll know if you did it right or not, depending on whether or not they're connected. Yeah, depending on whether or not the lines are connected. So let's just shear off this first layer. And I tried to make it to where I only had to take off one layer and you could see everything that's inside, and I think I did a pretty good job. Alright, so here we go, guys. This is the internal setup. What you have is a 5x3 setup. You can make it as big as, I'm pretty sure, 16 by 16. You have to have this being the borders of everything, the ME assembler containment wall. You have to have this being everything other than that that's on the outside. These are the heat vents. Everything that's showing that is not the containment walls, ooh, that's not the right block, has to be heat vents, or else it will not work. Right here we have the, do not remember the name. We have the crafting CPU. That's a big deal. That has to do with how fast everything is responsive and everything. And these are what I talked about, the pattern encoders. Or pattern providers, gosh darn it. So anyway, I have 2 of those. And if you remember, I will put it all back now so you guys can see, just in case you don't remember. Oh gosh darn it. I'm getting some serious lag from these wrath lamps, but I need them or else everything won't be lit up, and that just causes problems. So anyway, now we put these back, and you will see it all come together. And bam. Alright, so now that everything's running again, it should stop lagging because now everything actually has proper connections. So if you remember looking at this, we had 2 things. That's because 2 pages. That is because we have exactly 2 pattern providers on the inside. So let's go from left to right, excluding these really fast, and I will explain everything. So, but I do want to check one thing. Is it? Alright. So anyway, what we have here is a crafting CPU. It's being energized, and you can see this is the energy level. These are everything I have connected to it. I have 32 containment walls, 22 heat vents, 14 cables. I don't know why they're coming up blue cables, but those are just regular ME cables. I have 4 CPUs, 3 wireless boosters, 2 pattern providers, 2 disk drives, 1 ME asset ME terminal, 1 crafting terminal, 1 crafting viewer, 1 screen, 1 I/O port, and 1 chest. Here is the terminal. This is everything I have in it, and these are all the items that come that are not blocks and not tools in the mod. I will explain each one after this. You already saw the molecular assembler chamber, and these are 2 disk drives. I usually try to keep it 2. You can start out with 1, of course, and you can start out with 1 kilobyte storage, but to actually run an entire base off of every cores and everything, you're going to want at least 2, all with ME 64 kilobyte storage. Ooh, that was a mouthful. I don't know why they're not being taken up. I definitely have stuff in here. It's like not connected. Oh, these are definitely in. Oh, there we go. It can. No, that's only 1. Oh, I guess whenever I reset it, it took everything out and it said 0, but those actually do have things on them. Or else, like, if we take this out, it should. Oh no, it's glitching out because I stopped it. That's my fault, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is a pattern encoder. I'll show you what that does really shortly. These are the wireless boosters, all with 16. This is a crafting terminal. Basically, if you want to craft things with it, or if you want to craft anything, you can take things right here. You can craft it, but if you want to craft more than 1, you don't need to put them in there because it will pull it out of your storage of your Applied Energistics terminal. It's actually quite cool. I really like it, and then it puts it right back in. Here's the screen. In fact, let me show you. Actually, let me use wireless boosters. So, we know that there's 63 in, but say you don't want to look at this every time, but you want to know. I usually use this for like iron ore, gold ore, diamond, stuff like that. You can right click on it, and it says 63, and then if we put this back, it instantly updates to 64. It shows you a little picture, and that's awesome. And then you can right click, and it will clear it, or I believe you can shift right click. I don't remember if this works still. Hopefully it does. Let me put these back. Shift right click. Nope, it used to work as far as you could take things out that way. But anyway, this is a crafting monitor. If you're ever having anything auto crafting, it will show you what it's trying to make, what it needs to make in order to do it, and if you need materials in order to craft it, it will show them right here. And that does one job, but you can have unlimited amount of jobs really happening at one time. To undo it, right click, it says so right there. Alright, so let's go back. This is an ME interface. I will show you what that does really soon. And here's an ME chest. Oh, that's what happened to it. It was pulling off of this. Alright, well, let me put that back and show you what happened. Alright, where'd it go? So anyway, now that's in there. So if I were to take this out, and we go and we look at this, it has nothing in there. If I were to put this back, it had everything in there except for the brown thing. You may think, well, why is that? That is because that is still on one of these. But now this is a perfect example of what the I/O port can do. I'm really glad that we got this opportunity. So say you want everything to be consolidated on one disk. What you can do is you can take it over to the I/O port, set it up to where move to output when ready, always active. Take this, it's done. Take this, and it's empty. So you can still use those, but right now they're empty. And if we go over here, it's all transferred onto this disk. Really neat setup. Probably the most practical use for it. Here's the ME chest. As I was saying, you can use your own thing on it to where you know what disk it's going on. I like doing that a lot. It's actually, yeah, it's probably the most important thing I've ever really found out about that if you want to keep one thing in the same thing. So anyway, this is an ME interface. That's the thing. I will show you what it does right now. Oh, well, actually, I can't right now. Very, very soon. Let's walk through each and every one of these things. Quartz crystal I've already shown, that's what you mine. Blank patterns, this is a very important thing. Say you want to auto craft. What is the easiest thing to craft? Let's make a crafting bench. Let's go back to creative mode. Let's go for oak wood. So what you can do is you can go into your pattern provider or pattern encoder. You can put in what you want to make. You can put a blank pattern right there. You can press encode. Then you have one that says crafts one crafting table with 4 oak wood planks. So you go over here to your molecular assembler chamber and you plop that in there. Now you can hold shift to see what it actually is, or you can just leave it like that. So now if it has the required materials, let's put oak wood planks. Actually, let's put a lot of oak wood planks in there. Oh, that's not a lot. Alright, let's actually get a lot this time. Alright, that's enough. Alright, so now if we go in here and we go to one of these, this one, let's go to craftable items. Craft, let's say we want 10 crafting tables. You put that in there. And if we go over here, where did it go? Oh, since it's on craftable items, I have to go to the stored items now. And there we go, we have 10 items. We have 10 crafting tables that we can pull out of the RAM. The wood is gone, and we can put those back in with no problem. You can search for crafting tables, right? Ooh. Crafting tables, you can take it out, you can craft another, come on. Take it out, you can craft another one, it's there, you take it out, put them back in, whatever you want. That's how patterns work. They're pretty nifty. Now let me show you a pattern where you can't craft it. This is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Let's make a macerator. Let's make a... Actually, no, let me do the... I'm going to use the... build... Those are build craft. Right, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the MJ required machines right now because I have energy test racks, and that makes it easier on me. So let's move this all the way away. Put the pulverizer down, the powered furnace down. Alright, so here are a couple of very, very important things you need to know about these. In order to input, you have to have the correct input. You probably want to leave these two disabled. It'll make it easier unless you want to use the, what do you call that? I'm sorry, I'm having a level emitter, the ME level emitter. Unless you want to use that, you can just put those two disabled. You want to make sure that you have the top configured to that slot, so let's put blue. And then the output, you want to have everything off except for the input and the output. Now the output needs to be gray. Right there. I mean, no color. It will only pull out of no colored things. I don't know why, but it does. So let me set up this to no color. Well, should have left that. Alright, so there we go. So now this is where the ME interfaces come in. Let's go ahead and grab the stack I already had set up. Put this down, and then let me take import buses, which I'm going to need. We have import buses right here. This is to import into the ME system. So we put them down. Then we can take our trusty little Omni wrench, flip it around. Perfect. Flip it around, and then we need to connect it all using ME cables. And as soon as we connect it, it will sense it on the controller. Make sure that all this stuff will work. Ooh. will work flawlessly. Let's go ahead and drag this over and down and down. So now if we look, it requires one more unit of energy. It has 2 ME interfaces set up on it now and more cable. And you should have also been able to see the import buses, but I forgot to look. So anyway, now that we have that done, let me show you what we can do with that. By the way, crafting recipes for these take a long time. I suggest that as you craft these, you make patterns for them, because they're multi-step pattern. They take multiple steps to make. Like, let me show you the import bus pattern. The import bus crafting recipe. So to make this guy, you need ME cable, and to make an ME cable, let's not do that one. You don't need a mixer, because you shouldn't. There we go. Quartz fiber cable with 2 redstone. So you want to make that pattern, but to make that pattern, you need to make the pattern for quartz fiber. So you need to make the pattern for glass and quartz dust. You also need to make the pattern for glass, and if you don't know, well, you have to smelt sand to make glass. Well, how do I make that pattern? I'll show you right now. Good example. So, sand. Let's grab some sand. Now let's grab some glass. Now you're going to have to smelt this yourself, but saying it's how I'm in survival, I don't need to. Let's go over to the pattern provider. So you want to put sand in there, and notice you'll see nothing pop, but if you go up and you click that in, put that in, and press encode, you have crafts 1 glass with 1 sand. Now that may be a little bit confusing at the moment, but this is what you do. You take it over to the ME interface that is above the powered furnace, and you drop that in there, and now check this out. We go over here, and we find glass, and we say, oh, we have to make sure that there's enough sand in there though, so, oh, that'll be a good time to show you. I want a 74 glass, and it'll start crafting. If you go over to the crafting terminal, you will see that it's trying to make glass, it's trying to make sand, but we don't have any sand. So, you're going to need to supply it with sand. Either make a pattern to make sand, or go out, get yourself some sand. Dump that in there, and then if you look at your powered furnace, it's still trying to craft it. Oh, I forgot to supply it with energy. That is a stupid mistake of mine. Let's get in here. Let's get some energy tesseracts going. MJ2 start. MJ2 start. There we go. So now you can see that it's working. It's making it, and as soon as one gets done, it shoots it up in and then replaces it. And that's how that works. That's really nifty. That's how you make things that you can't use just a normal crafting recipe for. One morning and so, there's things like the induction furnace in Buildcraft. I believe it's Buildcraft. But they have 2 slots to make 1 item. I have yet to find a way to make that work with the AE system. Because it will try to put in the first item, let it work, and then put in the second item, but that doesn't happen, so it just freezes once it hits the first item. So I'm sorry guys, kind of a big letdown for me, but there are workarounds using other things like filters and stuff like that. I just really wanted to be solely AE dependent, but that didn't work. So anyway, one thing I would like to show you guys right now, because I've been constantly looking for it and realizing that I haven't shown you guys it yet, is the ME wireless access terminal. So if you look at it, it says unlinked. Well, we need to fix that. To do that, you put it in the controller, and I've showed you that slot, you put it in, and linked. So now, we can go over here and say we need something really fast. Bam, we have it right here. And since we have 3 wireless access points, all with 16 boosters in it, we can go up. I don't know what the distance is with 3, but it's up here. So over here, and it might even be outside the walls. It's actually really nifty. I love it, and it's definitely one of the first things I'd invest in once you get everything all set up. So let's drop back down, get back to what we were talking about. So what I was trying to explain is that what you really need to do is, as you make really anything, make a pattern for it. It will make your life easier. I can't explain how many times I've just made, 10 of something, and it was a multi-step process. It was making import buses, and I got 10 ME interfaces. I made 10 conversion matrices. I made 10 basic processors. I made 10 basic processor assemblies. I made 10 quartz cutting knives. And then I found out I needed 11 of them. Like, your heart breaks a little bit when that happens, guys. You slowly just start withering away when you have to realize you have to redo it all just for one more. So make a pattern. It makes it easier. So let's talk about some other things in here. I've already talked about export bus level emitters. Talked about that. I'll show you a storage bus now. So let's go ahead and branch off the ME cable. Just bring it down right here. Oh, and one very important thing, there's no range on the ME cable. I love that about it. You will never run out of range on it. So let's bring up a barrel. And let's just plop that. Ooh, I missed. Ooh, keep on missing. Alright, there we go. So now let's spawn in, what would I like to keep a mass amount of? Diamonds. But let's be honest, the thing that you're going to have the most of is probably going to be cobblestone. So, say you have tons of cobblestone, but you don't want to waste an entire disk on just cobblestone. So what you're going to do is you're going to look. You're going to put it in a barrel or multiple barrels and put it on top of these. You have 768 cobblestone. You go to your wireless access terminal, look up cobblestone, you have 768. But it doesn't take up space on a disk. And that's probably the best thing in the world. And if you ever need to take out some cobblestone, it takes it right out. Ever need to put it back, puts it right back in the barrel. It's a very smart system, guys. And if you really just take maybe 10 minutes to learn how everything works, it will help you so much. It will help stop hair loss, considering the fact that you're going to be pulling it out whenever you realize that you have to make a whole another freaking thing that took 20 minutes to make, or you die and you lose your quantum suit armor and it learns that you have to take an hour and a half to do it when all you really had to do was make a freaking pattern. And then it'd take 10 minutes while you could go off and do other things. Maybe go outside, breathe fresh air. I don't know. But it'd be better than sitting there for an hour and a half doing stuff that you've already done. So please, take some time, do all this, and be happy playing Minecraft. I will see you guys next time with the next mod. If you guys have any questions, please comment, please PM me, do whatever you want to do. And I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. The main thing I want to get out of this is that you guys don't have to spend, 30 minutes on a wiki page somewhere or multiple wiki pages trying to learn how to do something when I can just spend my time that I don't really use for anything good either way, and you can learn. I hope you guys learned something new. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please just stick around for the next one. I will see you guys next time.